Hey everybody, it's TR back with another RV how-to video, and today I'm figuring out what's going to work best for painting my RV. So I've watched a lot of tutorials online trying to sort this out, and I still haven't quite got a good sense for what's going to work best on my walls. I want to paint these walls. They're covered with, well, it almost like a vinyl covering. It's like a wallpaper, but it feels vinyl, and so I'm kind of concerned that this paint that I bought, this is not sponsored by the way, but I'm going to be using this Behr paint and primer all-in-one. Everything I saw online and good practices is to put down some primer before you paint a surface. I just wanted to try to skip a step because this is going to be a lot of fiddly detail work to work around all of this stuff. You know, you've got window frames and all kinds of other things going on here that I'm going to have to tape off and paint around very carefully. So that's a lot of work. And if I can, eliminate one step going around painting, it should save me quite a bit of time. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to figure out what's going to work best as far as prepping the surface. The questions are, do I need to sand it? I've got these scuff pads. These are automotive scuff pads, 3M. I'll get the part number and put it in the description below, along with a link to my Amazon store where you can pick them up if you'd like. I use these for a lot of different things, but I'm going to use it on the wall today and see if that helps the paint adhere better. And then I'm going to do one with no prep at all. I'm just going to paint the wall. We'll let them set for 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll come back and see how durable it's going to be. So let's go. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing any measuring or anything, but what I'm going to do is just block out some test sections here. If I can find the end of this tape. This is just blue 3M painter's tape. And all I'm going to do is come in here. So I've just picked a spot that's out of the way. And I would have done this in a closet, but it was impossible to record, so I'm making a compromise to share this with you. But I'm just going to block out 3 blocks here. Alright, well, my OCD says that needs to be a little straighter. Alright, there we go. So the first patch I'm going to hit with the sandpaper. This is 120. This is actually for a sander I have. If it turns out I have to sand, I'm going to sand these walls with a palm sander. But now we're going to go to this 3M pad. This is like one of those Scotch-Brite pads. I think a Scotch-Brite would probably work as well. This is a little different. It's a little bit more open, the weave, so it gets rid of the dust and stuff. The Scotch-Brites tend to clog up. This is really a lot less aggressive. I can tell that already, just from the amount of stuff that's coming off the wall. And of course this one's our control, so we won't be doing anything with this except just cleaning it. I'm just going to hit them with some window cleaner here. Alright. Well, now the moment of truth. I wonder if I'm going to need to stir this. Guess we'll find out. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty light. It's supposed to be a pretty light gray. It'll dry a little darker than this, but I was looking for a pretty neutral color. Well, I don't see the pattern through there, so looks like we might be okay. The no prep side. Okay, well, we'll come back here, and it's probably going to need. It looks like it's probably going to need a second coat, and we'll come back and see how durable it is. So here's a quick painting tip for you. Since I want to reuse this brush in just a few minutes, and in fact this will work at least overnight and maybe a couple days, I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag like this, and then I'm going to throw it in the fridge until I need it again. You need to take it out a couple minutes before for it to come back to room temperature. But putting it in the bag removes the air from it, and then putting it in the fridge slows down the curing of the paint. and that way I'll be able to not have to wash this brush out when I need to use it again here in 30 minutes. It'll just save me a step, and I'm all about saving steps if I can, particularly when it comes to painting. Not one of my favorite things. Now normally I would never paint out of the can, but since I'm just doing a really quick test spots here, I thought that'd probably be okay. Well, good morning. It's day 2 of this painting project. I knew it was going to be a fussy job. I mean, there are so many corners and angles and things you need to tape, and plus, you know, when you're painting, prep is everything. If you don't prep the walls properly, you're going to get a crappy job, and so it's going to be a while, probably 2 more days of prepping and getting things sanded and cleaned and those sorts of things before I can really get started to put some paint on the wall. To that end, though, I do have a pretty good start on it this morning. It's still pretty early. It's only like 7 a.m. So I have here in the kitchen area where I'm working right now, I have taken some full strength orange cleaner, the Zep. I'll show you. So using this, the Zep full strength orange cleaner, so I've degreased all the walls with this. So I went through and I just wiped all the walls down and then washed them all down again. There was some residue from some pictures I had stuck to the wall from the double-sided tape that I was using. And some of that's just peeled right off. I mean, it came right off with this tool right here. This is a painter's tool, caulking tool, I guess it is. And I have sharpened this edge very sharp. So I have this edge really sharp. And that's been working pretty good to peel off this glue. But some of the glue has lifted the surface of the this vinyl that's stuck on this Luan plywood that the walls are made out of. Let me show you here. I had pictures stuck up on this area above the slide, and you can see that when I took them off I made quite a mess. This is the vinyl that's peeled off this Luan plywood, and so I'm going to have to sand this a little bit. There was a little seam here that was hidden underneath this, and I'm going to have to take care of that as well. And then up here you can just see that this vinyl is just peeling right off. I got the smoke detector off right now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to try to peel all this vinyl off, which might be a huge pain in the ass. It turns out I probably don't need to sand the walls. The paint seems to be sticking pretty good, but I am going to scuff them all up with this ultra fine Scotch-Brite pads. 3M. These are typically used in automotive work, and I suppose you could use something like this, you know, a regular sink scrubber. But those things tend to plug up a lot, and this has got a bit more of an open weave to it, and so it's not going to get plugged up. And I also like this because when you're in these really tight spaces where you need to do this fussy work, it fits in here really nicely, right? So I'm going to have to do another layer in here. If you look right here, kind of where this piece is right here, and then if we look right up here, you can kind of see that there's this T-bar that they stick in here, and they actually glue this in. This is the seam between these 2 sheets of the wood. And down here, they didn't have a piece put into it, this area right here. And so I'm going to have to fill that. And you can see there's a little bit of an offset there. So I've kind of worked this down. I've got a little bit more sanding to do right in there. And then I'm going to go and put another layer of spackling compound in there, and it's kind of tough to do. That's why this knife works pretty good, because it fits right in there. So it looks like I got a little piece of vinyl peel in there, and this vinyl has been a huge pain in the ass on this wall. So let's see if we can get that off. And then there's a couple pieces of it right here. This is going to have to be, now look at that. So I guess we'll just have to take this all out. So I'm using DAPS Alex Plus. This is a heavy duty extra strength, and I'm going to go ahead and just spackle this. Well, okay, that's going to have to sit a while. Can you see that? Right here. So the scraper took some of that off, but I'm going to have to hit it with some Goof Off. I will note that the Goof Off takes the photo finish right off of this wallpaper. See, it lifts the adhesive right off, but it also takes the photo finish off the, looks like there might be a little bit right there too. I did decide to change the paint color, put those 3 test patches on. You can kind of see those down here. But I wasn't happy with the color. It was going to be too dark, and so I changed everything up, and well, you'll just have to wait a few minutes to see what color it's going to be. So the challenges of living and working in the same space, it can be a bit much. I mean, you know, there's a lot of clutter, there's a lot of stuff just sitting on stuff, and I've got to get everything out of this cabinet because I'm going to have to take the back of the cabinet off. And it makes it so much easier to get in on the wall, where I'm going to need to get here in just a minute, to take this blind off so I can paint this wall and replace it, because I have replacement blinds I'm going to be putting. Let's take these apart. Alright, so I got everything out of this cabinet. I'm going to leave the cell booster in for now, but I'm going to loosen all these cleats. Okay, and hopefully that's going to allow me to push the back of that out. I thought I remembered it coming in, but it doesn't. At least this one doesn't. Now, all I should have to do is pull that one. How much does that be in the window? I need to start some music. Oh, come on, TR. Why is it every time you use a drill you have to reverse the friggin' thing? You just have to pop them loose. Ow! Son of a gun. Got bit by a staple. Nice. Alright, everything's taped off and the wall's been scrubbed well, so we're going to put some paint on.
I'm detecting no animal life forms within 50 kilometers. However, I am reading extensive animal remains, mostly fossilized.
Thanks, Brian.
It's clearly going to take 2 coats, so I just finished the first coat. Looks okay, but it definitely needs to be done again. So I'll be waiting 2 hours. That's the open time on this to recoat, and then we'll hit her again. So we'll see you in a couple hours. But I'm almost ready to take this blind off. I just want to empty out these top cabinets because remember I got to take the back off. All right, to pull these valises off, there's these L brackets. And I should get that all the way up. So here's this valise, all right, and these are gone. Out of here. And then here's the rest of that L bracket. Well, I kind of made a mistake. I was working to install this blind on the window here. This is one of the new blinds I'm installing. And I leaned on the table and I literally broke the table. So I'm gonna have to repair that. Buckle up your sleeves and presto, I'm going to try this again. As you saw from the last little bit of clip, I failed at this the first time, but I changed my strategy. Let's see if this is going to stick now to the wall. Like I think it should. I want to get this one. Well, I think I have the camera finally figured out, and I think I'm pretty much done here. It's looking pretty good. I think I finally got all these. The top edge up here has been troublesome to get to stick down. I managed to do pretty good over here, it looks like. All right, so here's a tour of the bedroom and how it turned out. So here in the bedroom, I installed this new blind. And that's just the bathroom here. I built this LED light fixture for in here. All I did was just take a piece of corner trim and I put some LEDs up in there. And then of course I retrofit this can with the LEDs. Painted the walls. That blind was already there. Now let's go check out the living room. Oh, the face track got lost. Workstation, and then the rest of the sconces that I built. So I hope you've enjoyed this RV how-to video on painting your walls, basically just doing some RV renovations. All in, it took me about, I think, 9 days. I had the broken table in the middle. That took me 2 days to kind of get that sorted. So I guess if I was just to be thinking about the time it took to do the actual painting was 7 days. But I painted everything, so every wall got painted. Still a couple final details to put together, but other than that, this project is done. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you found value in this video, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Visit my Amazon store to help support the channel. That's always greatly appreciated. But for now, it's time to go. Thanks for watching. I sure do appreciate it. Till we get together for another RV how-to video. Peace.